Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching Wings. On the show today, we tell you about Ganesh Chaturthi preparations ahead of the big festival. We also show you how the Dalai Lama, who is visiting northern India's Ladakh, attracts flocks of devotees. Also on the show, an exciting array of festive and cultural stories from Europe, Africa and South America. Let's begin. India is preparing for one of its most vibrant festivals, Ganesh Chaturthi. The celebration marks the birth of Lord Ganesha, revered as the remover of obstacles and the bringer of success and prosperity. As always, preparations are in full swing, with devotees gathering up to celebrate the festival with unmatched grandeur.
Ganesh Chaturthi is just days away, and cities across India are preparing to welcome Lord Ganesha. Streets are decorated and pavilions for public gatherings or pandals are being set up with the grand festivities. From playing dhol tasha, a traditional musical performance, to irresistible sweets like Modak. Ganesh Chaturthi, the 10-day extravaganza, begins from the 27th of August. Ganesh Chaturthi is more than just a festival. It is rooted in India's struggle for unity. In the late 19th century, freedom fighter Lokmanya Tilak transformed private family worship into a public celebration. A way to bring people together beyond caste, beyond class. And that spirit of togetherness remains at the heart of the festival today. Ganesh Chaturthi, also known as Vinayak Chaturthi in the south, marks the birth of Lord Ganesha, the remover of obstacles and the god of new beginnings. The last day of celebrations is Anant Chaturdashi, when idols of Lord Ganesha are immersed in water with prayers for his return next year. Across the country, preparations are in full swing. In Tamil Nadu's Tiruchirappalli, artisans are crafting eco-friendly clay idols with natural colors. In Maharashtra's historic Chitar Oli market in Nagpur, dating back to the Bhosle era, families who've been idol makers for generations are working tirelessly to meet the festive demand. Markets here burst with color and devotion, a tradition passed down from over 200 years. In Mumbai and Pune, the celebrations rise to another level. Towering idols, colossal pandals, music, dance and chants of Ganpati Bappa Moria echo on every street. Ganpati refers to Lord Ganesha. Bappa is an affectionate term for father or lord. And Moria honors Maurya Gosavi, a 14th century saint and devotee of Ganesha. Now that's a trivia you may cherish this festival season. But the celebration is not just about rituals, it's about flavors too. Kitchens come alive with the making of Modaks, a sweet Indian dumpling and Lord Ganesha's favorite sweet. Coconut, jaggery and ghee blend together into the steaming delicacy offered as prasad in homes and pandals. In many idols, Lord Ganesha is even depicted holding a Modak in his palm, a symbol of prosperity and happiness. To ease travel during the festival rush, Indian Railways has announced 392 special trains across the country, ensuring devotees can join the festivities with their families and communities. Ganesh Chaturthi is a reminder that faith is not only in temples and idols, but in people coming together. It is a festival where devotion becomes art, where history meets modernity, and where community turns faith into celebration. As chants of Ganpati Bappa Moria prepare to fill the air, India waits to welcome the Lord of Beginnings. Beyond Wings will be bringing you all the highlights from the Grand Festival in the next 2 weeks.
High in the Himalayas, where scenic beauty meets spirituality, Leh became a gathering place for hundreds of devotees seeking wisdom from the Dalai Lama, who is on a month-long visit to Ladakh. High up in the Himalayas, where snow-capped peaks meet endless blue skies, lies Leh, the serene heart of Ladakh. This scenic high-altitude spot, located in the far north of India, is popular with tourists and adventurous motorcycle riders from around the world. Ladakh is a land of breathtaking landscapes, ancient monasteries, and deep-rooted Buddhist traditions that add a splash of color to the otherwise dry landscape. This week, hundreds of devotees gathered here seeking wisdom from the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. Against the backdrop of Leh's majestic mountains, the teaching sessions brought together faith, culture, and the spirit of peace. Hundreds of devotees gathered in Leh, India, last Saturday for a teaching session by the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. The session focused on Geshe Langri Thangpa's 8 verses for training the mind and the 7th Dalai Lama's Song of the 4 Mindfulnesses.
Something that really stood out to me was his message of peace and compassion, and how peaceful the Indian people are, but how it spreads throughout the world, and how the world needs more compassion, especially all the unrest in America right now. I think it's particularly important to spread the message of peace and compassion for all, no matter what your beliefs or religion are.
A long life prayer ceremony for the Nobel laureate was held on Sunday as part of his month-long visit to Ladakh. The Dalai Lama has lived in exile in India since 1959, following an uprising against Chinese rule in Tibet. India is home to the Tibetan government in exile and around 70,000 Tibetans. In Morocco's coastal town of El Jadida, history thunders to life as riders and horses charge in perfect sync, celebrating Tbourida, a dazzling display of equestrian art rooted in 16th century warrior traditions and passed down through generations.
On Morocco's Atlantic coast lies the historic town of El Jadida, a place where centuries-old tradition echoes through its streets. During the celebration of the ancient Moroccan art, Tbourida, the city turns into a stage filled with the thunder of hooves and the crack of gunpowder. Thousands gather to witness this ancient equestrian art and cultural spectacle, a recreation of battlefield formations once used by Moroccan warriors. Horse riders charge forward with their rifles raised in a single line before releasing a thunderous shot together. Generation after generation, young and old, men and women, riders carry this heritage forward, and for many, the festival is more than just a tradition.
I inherited the art of horse riding from my ancestors. My father was a rider, and we have continued his traditions because it is our custom.
It's more than a passion. It's part of me. It's a heritage that runs in my blood, passed down from generation to generation.
This legacy is carried equally by men and women. Women riders lead their own groups, performing alongside their male counterparts with the same passion and pride.
I started riding horses alongside the male sorbas. Today, here we are, and I wish everyone, women and men alike, success.
For Morocco, Tbourida is not just a festival. It is culture, discipline and devotion, deeply rooted in the heart of its people.
More than just a feeling, it's a real source of happiness. When the festival season arrives, I leave everything behind. Nothing matters more than going there, bringing my horse and riding with the girls from my Sorba cavalry group so that we can put on a good show.
Recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage in 2021, Tbourida carries the ancestral equestrian art of warfare and stands as a symbol of Moroccan pride. So next time you're in Morocco, you know which festival you must be a part of.
Let's take a look at Belgium, where food and festivity go hand in hand. Thousands gathered at the town of Malmedy. The reason? A giant omelette cooked with 10,000 eggs. A marching band leads the way through the city as crowds gather on the streets to watch chefs prepare a giant omelette. 10,000 eggs go into this creation, which is large enough to feed 5,000 people. The annual festival is now in its 29th year. It is run by the World Fraternity of Knights of the Giant Omelette. The recipe includes oil, smoked slab bacon, chives, and of course, thousands of eggs. Each region has its own variation, but one thing remains the same: a shared love for eggs.
We're getting ready. We have already cracked 10,000 eggs, and we will cook the first batch of eggs and serve it free to the public. In the egg, in the omelet here, they put pieces of bacon and green chives, whereas in our Abbeville omelet, we put crawfish.
The eggs are whisked in giant bowls, poured into the enormous pan and cooked over a wooden fire.
They are busy whisking the eggs. When they are all beaten, they will put them in the huge pan and put the pan on a wooden fire. They add oil, smoked slab bacon and chives. Then they will serve the omelette to people. It has a wonderful taste.
The event also draws plenty of visitors who find the tradition both surprising and delightful.
were just on a small trip and we noticed that there's a fabulous tradition here, a giant omelette. So we thought, why not attend and have some great omelette?
We came here today to attend the giant omelette event. The weather is beautiful. There are lots of people. It's really interesting for us to see everyone around.
As the pan empties plate by plate, this tradition once again reminds us of an old saying: you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. Over to Brazil, a country known for its music, dance, football and vibrant traditions. In Rio de Janeiro, residents are celebrating a rhythm called jongo, a dance even older than samba.
Rhythm runs through the heart of Brazil's culture, from carnival drums to samba steps echoing through Rio's streets. But deep within this heritage lies jongo, an Afro-Brazilian dance born during the era of struggle against slavery. Last weekend, Rio's Tiradentes Square turned into a stage for 18 groups who came from rural quilombos, settlements founded by runaway and freed slaves, to showcase the dance that carried their ancestors' voices. Jongo draws its rhythm from two ancient drums, the caxambu and the candongueiro, each crafting distinct tunes. Dancers enter the circle with a bow to the drums before couples take the center. The dance flows with energy as the crowd keeps cheering for the performers. Jongo is more than dance. It was once a secret language. Enslaved Africans used its songs, known as pontos, to speak in coded language that the enslavers could never understand.
Jongo is an Afro-Brazilian dance born at the time of slavery from the enslaved black people who, after an intense day of work, met at the slave quarters to dance jongo and exchange information, because in the jongo gatherings there was dialogue among them which their enslavers could not understand.
The roots of this tradition trace back to Angola and Congo, carried across the ocean by those forced into slavery. In Brazil, it transformed into both a celebration and a form of struggle for freedom. This three-day festival is not only about preserving culture, it's about demanding recognition. Organizers call for better schools, hospitals, and tourism infrastructure for Quilombo communities where jongo is still alive.
These settlements are very well hidden in the state's northwest, so coming to the cultural state capital, Rio de Janeiro, to show off is important. There's a deep interior in Rio and in Brazil, which should be better known by tourists, by the whole world, and even by the Rio locals. Many here don't know what jongo is.
Among the highlights, Rio State's oldest jongo drums, crafted 200 years ago, were presented at the festival. Carefully preserved, they carry the spirit of generations. Beyond the history, it's the feeling that keeps jongo alive, a rhythm that touches both body and soul. It's a rhythm that represents the heartbeat of a culture.
Let's take a look at Bosnia and Herzegovina, where people have gathered for a unique sporting spectacle. The town of Jashe hosted its 10th international waterfall jumping contest. Divers from across the world took the plunge from the city's iconic Pliva waterfall.
The historic town of Jashe in Bosnia and Herzegovina turned into a stage for thrill and sport, as the Pliva waterfall became the site of an international waterfall jumping contest. 16 divers from around the world lined up for the challenge. performing spectacular jumps in the 20-meter-high waterfall that sits right in the heart of the city. Divers showcased breathtaking skills against the backdrop of Jaice's roaring waters. The event featured the traditional Lasta-style jump, known as swallow, with divers extending their arms outward, head first, creating the impression of a swallow in flight.
I'm here, I have the honor today being a part of the Jaice waterfall. It's behind me, 20 meter, nearly 20 meter, and it is one of the most, it is the most unique waterfall I've ever jumped off. You gotta know, I've been doing that professional for 2 years now. I've been training 15 years of diving, and I've been traveling all around the world, Japan, Australia, America, everywhere, and this is the most outstanding spot I've ever been.
For the competitors, there is no time for peaceful concentration, as the roar of the waterfall makes the experience a real thrill.
Jumping from the waterfall here in Jaice is a special experience because at other jumps they turn off the music, the audience goes quiet, there is no talking or noise, there is only silence, and we have time to concentrate. Here it is something completely different because the waterfall is constantly roaring and we cannot stop it, so we have no peace to concentrate.
This year's winner, Dino Badrick, praised not just the competition, but the way it promotes Jaice as a global attraction.
I know how much effort people put into the promotion of this event, and I'm glad that we jumpers are part of that promotion, both touristic and otherwise, and I'm really glad that the jumps went extremely well, that they were safe, and that everyone is alive and well.
The international waterfall jumps have already earned awards as Bosnia's top tourist event, with divers from around the world making Jaice their stage. The city's spectacular waterfall continues to draw visitors from across the world.
That's all we have for you in this week's Wings. We return next weekend with more. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.